So one day into 2025 and we got the Nintendo Switch 2 motherboard, which ended up leaking, and a lot of information came out of it, which basically confirmed a lot of the specs that we've had rumored for a while, like there's going to be 12 gigabytes of RAM and a custom-made NVIDIA T239 CPU and GPU. But what does 5 days into the new year get us? Well, it turns out that ends up being pretty much an entire leak of what the next generation Joy-Cons are going to be like for the Switch 2, and they're basically officially confirmed. So earlier this morning, a Chinese user had posted these images on the Famaboards forum saying that these are going to be the next generation Joy-Cons for the Nintendo Switch 2. And for once, we can see that we have a leaked image here that isn't a blurry mess because this image is actually pretty high quality, and because of that we can make out a lot of things, and just looking at the image right away, you can tell that this does look very legitimate. Like, this doesn't look like it's some cheap like 3D printed plastic or anything. It looks very premium, like the plastic that we have on the current Joy-Cons. And even on the back of it here, we can see like these licensing symbols for like the recycling and all of that, which appears too, and these have to be there for any tech related product. If you have your current Joy-Cons right now with you, you can flip those over and you're still going to see these same symbols on the back of your Joy-Cons. So the fact that these are there too, that's definitely adding some legitimacy as well, because it's kind of hard for like AI to fake like generating kind of these images and like these like symbols and everything. So you can't say that this image is like AI generated or anything either. It definitely does look very real. And really the first thing that you can notice, like in terms of the actual Joy-Cons themselves, yeah, they're very similar to the current Joy-Cons that we have right now, but they are matching kind of the things that we've seen from like those leaked prototype documents and CAD documents and stuff, where you're going to have like these buttons that are going to appear on the back here, and you're probably going to like hold these in to take them off of the system. But we also have these colored grooves that we can kind of see here that are like jutting out of the side of the Joy-Con, and we can see this is where you got like your SL and SR buttons. But yeah, we've got like this really interesting blue color here. And from what we've heard from like rumors and stuff, it actually seems like there's going to be two different versions of the Joy-Cons and the system. So this is actually going to be like a black and blue version, and apparently the other one is going to be an orange and white version. So these are going to be apparently the two versions of the Switch 2 that are going to be available at launch. Maybe there might be some others as well, but I'm honestly a pretty big fan of this black color. Like the original Switch came out with those gray Joy-Cons, but this looks very much like an even darker shade than that, and it's looking like a space black color, which I'm actually really digging. So I'm probably going to end up getting this one if you're only going to have like white and orange or black and blue. It's actually the exact same color scheme as the new Nintendo 2DS XL. If you guys remember that, when that came out, like I think back in like 2017, it was like right after the Switch came out, Nintendo had another version of the 3DS, but it seems like they're using the exact same color scheme here, so it is pretty interesting. Now here is a comparison with the Switch 2 Joy-Cons on its side with the current ones that we have right now, and immediately you can notice how much bigger these SL and SR buttons are compared to these really small ones that we have on the current Joy-Cons. And I don't know how often you guys have played games in split Joy-Con mode where you have to press in these little buttons, because it is really difficult to press in these buttons when you just have the Joy-Cons bare, because it's obviously easier when you put in those wrist straps and then the buttons become bigger, but when you just have to press in these little buttons after taking them right off of the system, it can be really difficult. And especially if you're playing a competitive game like Smash Bros, where you have to press in these little buttons at the right time for your shield or your grab or something, it can definitely be really difficult. So this is going to make it much easier with the Switch 2 Joy-Cons. And what's also really interesting here is we can kind of see the buttons are lining up with like these little sync buttons that we have on the current Joy-Cons, and then also like these pins here, I guess, to kind of fasten the Joy-Cons into the system. But what's really interesting is this really big discovery that was made with this thing right here, which is looking to be an optical laser sensor. And so this is actually kind of insane, because this is kind of looking like those little red lights that appear on the bottom of a mouse, where if you kind of like lift up a mouse and you kind of see like that little red laser light underneath it, that's pretty much what this appears to be. And so what this is looking like is that you might be able to actually lay your Joy-Con flat on a surface and then kind of move it around and kind of have it act like a mouse. And maybe you can even press like the little trigger button on the side or maybe on the top or something, and it kind of acts like a clicker. So this is actually sounding very gimmicky and something that I could see Nintendo using. Maybe this is going to be something that's going to be used in like Mario Party games or like WarioWare mini games or something. I don't obviously see this being used for like a really big major game from Nintendo or anything, but it is definitely very interesting. And there's been some speculation if you could even use this with like first-person shooter games or real-time strategy games, and this is definitely really kind of interesting. And honestly, this also kind of makes me believe a little bit more about that Reddit leaker. If you guys remember, there was like that Reddit leaker who came like right before Christmas, who was saying that they had their hands on like the final version of the Nintendo Switch 2. And of course, nobody believed them. And they even posted like these images later that there's been a whole debate on if these images for like the dock are real or not. And I mean, there still hasn't been any concrete proof if these are real or if these are fake. But one of the things that this person did say when talking about the Joy-Cons is when you lift them up and look at them from the top, there is like a hidden feature that they're very curious to see what it's going to be like for the Switch 2. And I think seeing this right here, this is probably what they're referring to. And now it gets me very curious as well for what this could be used for. And this very well could be like a brand new gimmick that we see with these Joy-Cons. And I'm guessing that it's probably just going to be with the Joy-Cons, like how with the Switch 1 Joy-Cons had like those IR cameras on the right Joy-Con. I don't think that we're going to see this like on the Pro controller where it's going to have like this optic laser sensor either. It's probably just going to be something that's going to be gimmicky for like a few games or something that's going to be using just the Joy-Cons for the Switch 2. Now, another update that was also given by that Reddit leaker Next Handheld is that there's actually going to be colors that are going to appear on the front of the Joy-Cons as well, but they're going to be like that ring for the joysticks that you're going to see underneath them. So it appears like this is kind of going to be like a mock-up of what it's going to be like, where the side of the Joy-Cons are going to be blue or they're going to be orange, depending on if you have the white version, but then where the joysticks are, that ring underneath it is also going to be the same color. And I don't think that this is a light or anything, it's just going to be kind of like what color you have for your system. So there is going to be a little bit of color for these Joy-Cons as well. So I guess if you get the black and blue ones, you're going to have like these blue rings that are going to be underneath the joysticks of those Joy-Cons. And then if you get the white and orange ones, you're going to see orange rings underneath that. So I guess you can choose which one you prefer. Now, by far the absolute craziest thing to come out of this leak is that we actually now have official 100% confirmed with certainty that these are the real Joy-Cons for the Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm sure you've seen the title saying officially confirmed or whatever, and you might be wondering, well, Aero, how do you know for a fact that these are in fact the real Joy-Cons for the Switch 2? Well, because this image is a pretty high quality image, it turns out we can actually read here what these numbers are on the back of the Joy-Con, and even the numbers that appear here on the side with like the little ridge, where these are going to be these serial numbers for the Joy-Cons themselves. And the serial number helps us identify what kind of product we have here, and also kind of the actual product itself and its warranty status and all of that. And so somebody managed to actually figure out what the serial number here was by looking really carefully at the image. And it turns out if you take the exact same serial number here from the image and put it on Nintendo's customer service website, it turns up where it actually shows you the product right here with the official serial number confirmed, saying here that unfortunately we're not able to determine the warranty status right now of your product. So the thing is, it actually does exist in Nintendo's database in terms of their serial numbers. Because here's the thing, if you just make up a whole bunch of random serial numbers and random garbage, it'll say right here, invalid serial number. Like if you try putting something else in, it'll say invalid, like it's not real. But the fact that this one actually shows up, then yeah, this means that this is actually a real officially licensed Nintendo product that shows up here. And it also seems like this code right here for what it starts with, HBW, is going to be for all Switch 2 related things, because right now there is no Nintendo hardware that starts with HBW. So I'm guessing like Switch 2 consoles, Switch 2 Pro controllers, accessories, all of that is going to start with HBW. So yeah, this is just even more official confirmed proof now that these are in fact the real Joy-Cons. And so yeah, all of these Nintendo Switch 2 leaks are just starting to get more and more insane. We got the motherboard, but now we have the official final versions of what the new Joy-Cons are going to be like, and it really starts to make you wonder when Nintendo is planning to do that official reveal, because if they really want to drag this out till like February or March, the longer they wait, we might as well have the entire console and the dock and everything leaked at that point, and then there's going to be nothing to show in terms of hardware, and it's really just going to come down to whatever new games they have in that trailer. So I am hoping that the reveal is very close, and that hopefully it happens like this week or next week or something, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, these leaks are just going to get more and more insane now, because we can clearly see that a lot of this now is starting to get prepared for the system, which is going to be coming out very soon. So yeah, hopefully Nintendo does decide to do the reveal. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm definitely gonna have some more videos talking about the Switch too, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Comment down below, let me know what you think about this. Are you happy with these Joy-Cons for the Switch 2? Are you happy with the colors? Which one are you gonna be looking to get? The white and orange ones or the black and blue ones? How do you feel about this new optical laser thing? Do you think that it could be used for anything interesting? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. But if you don't have anything to say about it, just comment your favorite emoji down below for some engagement. I would really appreciate it. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.